Red Raiders will put toe to leather and will get started. Fielded in the end zone. It's Bell. The coverage team maintains his discipline, not much doing on that return. Send the tight end in motion. To the air, it's Morris. Fires to the middle. Just too much mustard on that one. Can't miss the target that badly. Working well behind the sticks on second down. Looking to fire. Throwing right. He's got an open man. Creates a little room. Racing to the right. And they finally get him stopped, but it's a big throw and catch, and he's down at the 5.
Well, after that last play, you can see how electrifying this guy is and how special he is after he makes the catch. If I'm on offense, I'm trying to find a lot of ways to get him touches in this game.
So that's not exactly optimal as far as the defense starting a stand, giving up an 80 spot, now dealing with a 1st and goal. And they get him down.
The big fella in the middle, man. Those defensive tackles, they go such a long way in deciding and really stopping the other team's run game. Just forcing contact with those guards and those centers, owning the line of scrimmage, and getting running backs on the ground.
They've got it down to the 3. Now it's 2nd and goal. Wants to go up top. Looking for the score. Touchdown, Bobcats. Fired in from the red zone for the score.
Texas State, number 1, falls in the end zone.
Getting ready for the extra point after the first score of the game. Oh, that's like blowing the layup or the 3-inch putt. Missed the extra point. Quick work on that scoring drive, just 4 plays. Kickoff unit on the field, and this defense will be called on to protect this lead. He'll take the return, try to get better field position. Smashes him with the stiff arm. Grab behind the line. It's Smith. He gets those chains moving, gets it out to the 42-yard line.
Not wasting any time. You just watch the opponent go down on their first drive and score a touchdown. So right away, you're aggressive. You're throwing the football on your first play of the game, and you're getting a nice completion. Really nice job.
They'll give it to the back. Continuing to churn and move it forward, and they're closing in on midfield. It's down at the 48.
Coaches always harp about staying ahead of the chains, and when you can run with that type of efficiency on first down, man, you are doing just that.
The Red Raiders can play this second down a lot of ways with just a few yards to go. Leaves it with the running back. Breaks the tackle. Dragged down, but they'll the sticks for a first down.
Man, I love when offenses are not afraid to run the football consecutive times in a row or multiple times in a row. I know everybody wants to air it out, but, man, getting that ground game established, making those linebackers and safeties come up and know that we're going to run the football, I like the way they started this football game.
What a play by the defender that time, because he's matched up one-on-one man coverage against an outstanding wide receiver, and it's the defender who makes the play. Really, really good position. He was up to the challenge. Be interesting to see if this quarterback goes his way again.
Looks as if the defense was a little too eager there, got into the neutral zone, and that'll be a 5-yard penalty. The officials offer the deal, and the coach accepts it. They will take the penalty. I'm sure the offense happy with that free 5 yards. Now it's 2nd and 5. To the air, it's Mendoza. Fires deep toward the end zone. Touchdown, Red Raiders! They wanted it all, and that is exactly what they got. Extra point here will give them the lead. And they move on top with the extra point, 7-6. A very efficient 5-play scoring drive. And they pay it off with a strike from 38 yards out. Fielded in the end zone, it's Bell. I imagine he's going to get an earful on the sideline after bringing it out of the end zone and being knocked down at the 11. Opening play of this drive comes from the 11. To the air on first down. Here's a heat.
And I think everybody holds their breath when that QB is back to throw, and he's right near the goal line. You never know if it's truly a safety, but he just gets out of the end zone and avoids the safety.
Time winding down in the quarter as they come to the line. Feet in the end zone, looking to fire. Finds his target down the middle. And after the stop, that is going to put a bow on this first quarter. That's the end of the quarter, and Texas Tech is on top. And we've reached the end of one. Before we move on, let's take a look at our stats so far. Heading in the opposite directions now as we crank it up in the second. This offense had a little extra time to think about it. Let's see what they have on third down. Tight end in motion, see how the D reacts. Looking for a man, it's Morris. Catch in the middle, it's Haynes. And they knocked him down, but he got past the line to gain.
Nice job by the running back, catching the football and understanding where the first down marker was. I got to go get that first down. He did a nice job of it.
The Bobcats come to the line with a new set of downs. Looking to throw on first down. Looking deep. Fires into a world of traffic and is picked off. He stopped, not much on the return, but a whole lot in getting the football.
What a nice catch by the defensive back. Listen, a lot of times you see DBs get in position to make plays, but there's a reason they play DB and not wide receiver. Great job finishing the interception, catching the ball, making a big play.
They've got a little time here to put together a productive drive late in the half. Off the play fake on first down to throw. Fires downfield. And it'll be incomplete. He got on the move trying to make something happen, but just couldn't find a man.
That's a pretty good job by this defense, understanding when that QB breaks the pocket, like, I got to have somebody in secondary contained to kind of pursue the quarterback, but everybody starts to move towards where he's working. He's working towards the right sidelines, and there's nowhere to go with the football, and he just floats that thing out of bounds.
Gonna run it. It's Hardy. Runs through a tackle and runs through another guy.
It's got to feel good as an offense knowing that early in the drive you can turn around, hand it off, get a push up front, and go get positive yardage.
And the Red Raiders come to the line on 3rd and short, looking to keep this drive moving. They'll move the tight end. Trying to pick it up on the ground. That'll be enough for the first down as they stop him at the 43-yard line. They moved the chains on the ground last time. Let's see if they try to hit him up top. To the air, it's Mendoza. Quarterback on the move, still looking. Trying to escape and get it himself. He gets it across the 40 and out of bounds at the 38.
And this is the hard part about being on defense and choosing whether to be conservative or bring the blitz. They bring the blitz, he sees it, and that's what he does really well. Sees it and immediately makes a decision, gets to some green grass, and gets a positive gain for this offense.
Ball at the 38. The defense will try to get a stop on 3rd and short. From the gun, wants to pass. Quarterback moving. Going to try to get it himself. He'll pick up a few before being knocked out of bounds at the 31.
And these are the ones that they just add up, and they're so frustrating for a defender. Trust me, I'm a defensive guy. It's just annoying. You get him in 3rd and medium. They're going to pass the football. You play the pass well, but man, does he have a good feel, and he just pulls it down, and it's almost like he knew exactly where he had to get. Smart scramble, nice job getting the first down.
Well, the good news is he did a nice job reading the coverage. He knew exactly where to go with the football that time. Just a little bit too much on that pass. You wonder if that's just nerves. He's got to settle himself down a little bit.
Behind the chains now on 2nd and long. Sends it back in motion. Wants to fire on 2nd down. Throws for the tight end. Got his man downfield. Defense is there to make the stop, but he's got the first down, and they'll have it 1st and goal at the 6.
Man, this defense, they have got to get better in coverage if they want to get off the field anytime soon. You keep defending like that, this offense might hang 50 on you by the end of the game.
The Red Raiders have it in scoring position on 1st and goal. Now on the move. They'll knock him down for a loss of a couple.
And, man, it's nice to have a guy that is just better than your guys. And no matter what play you call, man, how about him getting in the backfield quick, penetrating, using his quickness, and using his strength to get him to the ground. That is a ball.
He got the screen set up. And he was fortunate not to lose yardage on that play, able to wedge it back to the line of scrimmage. Here's a timeout on the field. Tight game here late in the first half. It's 3rd and goal and a long way from the end zone. Back to pass, it's Mendoza. It's complete to the left. And they'll get him down inside the 5, but this offense powering toward a score. And on 4th down, here comes the field goal unit. From the left hash, and this distance ought to make that angle pretty easy to handle. The field goal is no good, and the lead remains at 1 after the miss.
Well, that's one the kicker would like to have back. That's a kick he should be making in his sleep.
We'll see them really hit the speed button on the tempo here in the final minute of the first half. Wants to go up top on 1st down. Now improvising. Throwing on the run. And they can't make the connection, going for a big play on 1st down.
I think a big reason this offense is struggling right now and why they're trailing on the scoreboard is they have not been able to protect this guy, and it's affected him. He has not looked very accurate. Moving forward, the pass pro has got to be better to help this guy out.
After the incompletion, they go back up top. He's going to take off. Out to the 32-yard line before he goes out of bounds, and that's the way to give a little start to the drive.
And I love the change in decision-making, right? That was a much better job. Last possession, tried to force it in there through the interception. This possession, it's not there. Take off and scramble. Great job. You got enough athletic ability to do that. Big third down conversion by this offense.
That's caught. It's Moore. They'll wrestle him down just short of the first down. I don't even think they're going to bring out the chains to measure this one. We got a timeout here late in the first half, and they'll try to get more points on the board before the break. And the Bobcats have their whole playbook open here on 2nd and inches. Looking for a man. It's Morris. He's moving out of the pocket. Picked off, and they ruin an early drive with the turnover. Takes it the other way. And they make the play to stop the scoring opportunity just before the end of the half.
And I like the aggressiveness. I understand you're down, right before the half. You want to go get some points, but you can't turn the football over here. Now you've set the other team up in a position to maybe get more points as the first half's winding down.
Inside 30 seconds to play in the half. We'll see how aggressive they are on this drive. Wants to throw on first down. Moving out of the pocket. And he's chased out of bounds at the 6-yard line, and they'll try to stick it in from there.
And that's a missed opportunity by the defense, because if this quarterback is going to decide to run the ball, you have got to make him pay. You at least have to hit him and put him on the ground. I know they didn't give up a big, long, explosive run, but you got to get shots on this guy when you can. That time they let him get out of bounds.
Takes a handoff. It's Hardy. Didn't get much done on that run. He'll fight his way out and maybe pick up a yard. They'll use a timeout right before halftime. Maybe time for 1 or 2 more plays. Running out of time here in the first half. They're going to have to be efficient to put some points on the board before the break. On 3rd and short, they keep it on the ground here. We've got a timeout in the waning seconds of the half. Maybe a chance to get off a couple more plays. It's wise not to be too greedy, and they'll go ahead and send out the field goal unit. And this ought to be a chip shot from about 20 yards out. Never a doubt. They take a 4-point lead here in the second.
And listen, y'all know in the booth and everywhere how I feel about kickers. Don't always love leaving it on their foot, so to speak, but nice job executing. He keeps doing stuff like that. I'll keep trotting him out there.
The returner will field it and try to do some business. Coverage team there to make the stop. They avoid disaster, and that's the end of the first half. We're just about ready to start the second half. Here he comes from inside his own 5. He'll be forced out of bounds at his 21-yard line. Not the best field position you could ask for, but they'll get it started there. Texas Tech has it back, and the Red Raider offense on its way to the field. And points have been hard to come by in this one. They'll try to put together a drive. Now the pitch. And not much doing there as that defense runs him out of bounds.
And, man, the big fellas up front, they don't get a lot of credit. They're getting talked about a lot unless it's negative, but they're the big component, man. They've got to get some push, to get some running lanes, get this running game going. They're the ones that make it go.
He'll try it again. He's knocked down a couple of yards behind the line of scrimmage.
And if this defense wants to get back in the football game, they've got to match the physicality of this offense. And that's a great start here in the second half. Like coming out, not letting them run the football, being the more physical and more aggressive team.
Back to throw, it's Mendoza. Quarterback doing what he does best. He can move. Out across the 30 and out of bounds at the 33, and that's what you're looking for when you're backed up in your own territory. And the Red Raiders will snap it on 1st and 10. Looking to throw on 1st down. Moving out to the right. Sails one into the middle. And is knocked away and incomplete. The defensive back staying in phase and batting it away.
We've seen this offense click and hum, and it's not clicking, and something's a little bit off. And I like the deep shot down the field. At least it wasn't an interception, but they got to find a way in this O to manufacture some first downs and some passing yards because everything's been difficult today.
After the incompletion, back to the passing game. Makes the grab. It's Fisher. Great pickup as they'll keep this drive moving, and they've got it at the 45.
Hey, man, this fullback is a weapon. Nice job catching the football and then turning upfield to go pick up that 1st down.
Looking downfield on 1st down. Moving, keeping the eyes downfield. And it's incomplete. If you're going to take a hit like that, you might as well hang on to the ball.
This defense has a lot of speed, especially in the secondary, and you saw that speed. That defender got to that receiver so quick, and because of the hit, incomplete pass.
So now it's 2nd and long. Running to the left. Some hard running there, but just too many defenders as he stopped for a loss.
Man, when you go into the half and you're down, like that speech is usually pretty fiery. A lot of words you can't use on television. And so this coaching staff probably challenged their guys, and I like the way they started this second half so far. Physically, flying around, doing a great job stopping the run. They got to play like this the rest of the game.
Looking to throw, it's Mendoza. Trying to make magic with his feet. He gets it to the 38-yard line, and they'll pick up a fresh set of downs.
You just can't say enough about this quarterback and how important his legs are to their success for this season, for this game, and really for this drive. Earlier, when he called his own number, it was a big gain. He does it again. He's got the knack for just understanding when to throw it, when to take off and run. You saw it right there.
And this one will be stopped for no gain.
That's a really good stop by the defense. Jesse, they need a few more. You've given up a bunch of yards on this drive and a bunch of plays, but all that matters is keeping them off the scoreboard.
Yeah, it's that bend, don't break mentality you're seeing right now, and this is the point where this defense has just got to lock in.
Got rid of it in a hurry, but he couldn't find his man. It's incomplete.
Another incompletion, and I've said that a lot, and these teams are just struggling. I mean, the offense just doesn't know what to do. Nothing's working. Ground game, throw game. It's kind of been a rock fight on both sides.
On 3rd and long, he's going to have to throw for it. Got a man. It's Wallace. That's not quite going to be enough as they stop him 4 yards short of the marker. That's the end of the period, and it's Texas Tech holding the lead. They've done the work to build a nice cushion. Now to bring it home as we check out the stats after 3 quarters. Here comes the 4th. Time to see who steps up, who makes the winning plays to take home that W. Quarterback may change this route. On 4th down, they'll throw for it. He'll pull it down. He works his way to the 23 before he goes out of bounds.
Every possession later in the game means so much more. You start getting the 4th quarter, 1-possession games, QB drops back and makes these first downs. These extra set of downs now become so much more important late in these ball games.
And he runs into a wall, maybe got it back to the line of scrimmage.
You got to give this defense credit because they have bottled this guy up all game long. He's one of the best running backs in all of college football. Everybody was expecting him to have a big one today. Don't tell that to this defense, though. They've played with great effort. They've gotten hats to the football, and they have been able to shut him down.
Nowhere close on that one as he got drilled trying to deliver the football, and now they face third down. After that last incompletion, man, do they need to connect and keep this drive alive and keep that clock running. Looking downfield, it's Mendoza. Quarterback floating away from pressure. Got it in the middle, it's Delton. And boy, is he close to that first down, maybe just a couple of inches short. Defense uses a timeout quickly, trying to get that ball back and preserve time for their offense. And you know the standard is indisputable video evidence, and the officials will change the call. The Red Raiders didn't start this drive with great field position, but they have moved methodically down the field. They'll move the wide receiver. The quarterback flips it ahead quickly to the receiver. And that's a very productive first down play and bringing up 2nd and 3.
Man, the defense, you hold your breath. When this receiver has the football out in space, you have got to make sure you're playing with outstanding pursuit. Nice job there, but as this game goes on, they've got to keep an eye on this guy and make sure they know where he is at all times.
2-minute timeout arrives, and this defense desperately needs to get the football back. It'll be 2nd down, and remember, they can pick up a first without scoring. Motion from the wideout. Quarterback quick pass to the receiver. And maybe he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that.
Well, I love the aggressive nature of the defense on that play. Everybody playing with eye discipline. They saw the pre-snap motion. They knew who had the football. And you saw guys play with excellent instinct, running down the hill and making a tackle.
They'll try to pick it up on the ground. They get him stopped at the 2, but it'll be 1st and goal.
Really impressed with the running back. His stats haven't been great, right? Every yard has been hard to come by, but these are some of the best runs we've seen in the game by him, and it's happening at the most important time here in the 4th quarter.
Keeping it on the ground on 1st and goal. He works his way ever closer all the way down to the 1-yard line. Quick timeout called by the defense, stopping the clock to save as much time as possible for their offense. 1 more yard on this 2nd down might just put an exclamation point on this one. Motion from the wide receiver. Trying to surge it in. And he takes it in for the score. Touchdown, Red Raider. They'll try to add another to their lead. And they pick up the extra point. Kicker knocked it right down the middle. And boy, did they play keep away on that drive. Didn't think they were ever going to give it up. They're ready to kick it away, and this crowd is buzzing after that last score. He'll start the return inside his 5. Across the 25 to the 26 before going out of bounds, and that's where the offense will go to work. Opening play of this drive comes from the 26-yard line.